digging down into politics at its very zero level. That's what the zombie apocalypse is ultimately about. In films in the 80s, you have a lot of like big other governmental structures that are operating without knowing any better and causing all sorts of problems. So, Return of the Living Unalive is the classic example where um, basically it's the government's fault that the zombie outbreak happens. In addition to some idiocy from characters, and a bunch of stuff happens, and then at the very end they all get bombed, right? So this is part of the fabric of a zombie apocalypse, but we steer away from that in the past couple of decades. Zombie apocalypses where we actually do get removal of political bodies, or they're off in a bunker somewhere, it doesn't matter, and we're getting to life without them, what that is. And that's characterized by this tension between, rugged survivalist individualism and collective action, the need to act collectively, both for survival and to provide some sense of meaning to life in the world. And there are a lot of different ways zombie apocalypses do this. Uh, I think the most political one is the Walking Unalive universe, which is basically this multiplicity of different tribalist bodies of people, oftentimes led by a leader who is a bit askew one way or another, is uh, got a weird fantasy to how they view the world, and that characterizes their society that they form, and they all clash together ad nauseum. Honestly, that's like what the Walking Dead series is all about. These warring communities, and there is a shirking back from politics within this, a sort of a throwing your hands up and saying, well, we can't really do much more than this. We're just going to keep bashing into each other at this collective level. We need to act collectively, but it's going to keep falling apart. And there is a bigger, broader conflict, effort to get people to unify, etc. I don't know the entire series. It's obviously quite long. I know it well enough to say this much, though. But basically, we don't want to view ourselves as tribalist here. Being a tribalist is separate from politics. Tribalism is about your in-group, preserving your in-group. Us versus the enemy outside figure. So this is the Greek polis, defining life as a just us thing, and then there are barbarians. Political action is unifying, is about mobilizing a collective of people, not just a tight in-group. So, you could view the Walking Unalive universe as what you get when you view life in this tribalist, polis sense of meaning. It's all just conflict. That doesn't take us far enough. With The Last of Us, we get a more nuanced approach, and we have a proper unified city with Jackson, and we get more police states in various types of disarray and inability to really function. Basically, the failure to operate in this hard power, old way of using your police power, your authority, here or there. So you're leading to rebellion. You're leading to you aren't giving people the fantasy by which they actually want to live life. You're not giving them any reason to live collectively. So you get this like individualism that keeps butting against this hard power that's operating without law. So you get the need to rebel with the fireflies at the start of The Last of Us. You have the remnants of the old world trying to apply their power to other people, keep things in brute control. You need to break out of that. And so you do achieve that with the journey of the characters and getting to Jackson. But you don't get this harmony happily ever after in Jackson. There are still things that disturb life, even when you get the political result you can most hope for. Black Summer on Netflix has some really nice zombie combat, but it shows what happens when you use the zombie to destroy politics entirely, to prevent collective action, and force people to be rugged survivalists, individualists at a comic level, at a bizarre one. So the zombie outbreak's happening. These zombies are sprinting, and everyone is just treating treating every moment as you're looking for your lifeboat to not drown. So people are betraying each other constantly and running as fast as the zombies and failing to, etc. The first season of that ends in a collective action that's also immediately dissolved. It's interesting to watch. At least they do that much. And I think the second season, when it pulls away from having so many characters and gets deeper into the zombie apocalypse, I think they're able to achieve something more interesting narratively there. That might be more worth talking to. But there is a limit between how far you go with this individualism versus collective action. Uh, the so the real issue, the real fundamental issue with the zombie is it undoes collective action, but we that doesn't take away the charge to act collectively. Um, when politics seems its most impossible, I mean that's for foreclosing politics is ideology at its very worst. It's brute power. It's not good. It prevents human connection. It prevents a way in which we can elect to live life together through a collective fantasy. That's what politics is. That's why there's so much intractability between different political views. It's about different ways of viewing the world. And it takes a struggle to get someone to see the world differently. That's the territory where you have to fight. The zombie does not absolve us from political action, even when we are the last person on Earth. We have to act collectively as much as possible. That's a call that comes from within, and it's incredibly difficult to do so today and in the zombie apocalypse. You have to take that burden on your shoulders. When we leave it for someone else, when we even if we just vote and go about our daily life, we can't give that up. We can't leave it to other people to do it for us. I think the one thing I did with Where We've Made It Dark is keep the different political groups from providing cover for us, to slot into a group and let them run things. It's very clear that there is no easy fitting in with anyone, us as Imogen. So there's a struggle each time, each confrontation with these groups, whether they're small, like our friends, or broader. So there's the real point is the tendrils of you trying to make it happen in the difficulty of doing that.